Hello, D-Rock here. Welcome to the channel and welcome back to another episode of Desolate, Nevada. Jen, thank you again for driving.
No problem.
Phoenix is also with us today. Jen, what are we doing today?
We're gonna go check out St. Thomas Ghost Town.
That's right, St. Thomas Ghost Town. This is pretty cool. The town was actually submerged by Lake Mead. So it was abandoned. The water came up, covered the town. Now Lake Mead, of course, is so low, but it receded to the point that the town became visible again, and you can go out there and walk around and check out the old foundations. So it's pretty interesting. It was a thriving town, turn of the 20th century. A lot of history there, and we thought we'd get out here and have a look at it because I honestly never knew it existed. Did you, Jen?
No.
Yeah, so we were doing a little research for this series, and this popped up, so we thought we'd come out here and have a look. So join us, and if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. It helps us out tremendously. So we're in the Lake Mead National Recreation Area, and we're currently on a dirt road heading down to, I guess, a trailhead, because we actually got to walk down to get to the site. But I think it's like 14 miles of this dirt road. And when we turned in, I noticed that I think they locked the gate at night, so you can't get out here anyway by this road. So Park Service must come and lock it every day, unlock it. I'm not sure, but it's a possibility. Jen, you know a little history about this place?
Yeah, just what I've looked up, but it was settled in 1865 by the Mormons, and they shortly thereafter took off because the state of Nevada discovered that they were actually in Nevada and wanted them to pay 5 years of back taxes. So they all burned their houses and took off, and then it was settled again later, just by nobody in particular, around 1880, and then Lake Mead filled it up starting in 1935, and I think the last resident left his home in a boat as the water came up.
That's crazy. We're gonna try and be as accurate as we can when we're talking about the history of this place, but we don't really know too much, and we did some research before we came out here. But I do believe that there's quite a bit of signage that Park Service has in the area, and I've also printed out a map of the town pre-flood, so we can get an idea as we're walking around of what once stood there. So yeah, we'll see what happens.
It was under 60 feet of water.
60 feet of water, yeah, that's great, man. That's crazy. All right, I think I made a mistake. It's not 14 miles down a dirt road. I think I was just looking at the phone. It said 14 minutes of riding. I thought I said miles. So it's just a few miles of dirt road riding, and the road looks like it's, at this point, it's pretty well maintained, graded, so any vehicle could get down it theoretically. All right, well, I think we're here, Jen.
Yeah, looks like it.
Yeah. Well,
Cool.
we're not quite at St. Thomas, but we're to the trailhead. All right, well, this is where the trailhead starts. At the end of this rise here, and then the trail just goes down. And I can see where the town would have been out here, so we're gonna walk down and head out that way. But it's pretty amazing that all of this was underwater. I mean, not up to where I'm standing, of course. I don't believe so. It may have been, but there's apparently a boat ramp right down here, and yeah, you can see. So the water came up somewhere up here, but down where my finger, I believe, is pointing, where the town is, that was under 60 feet of water. So it gives you an idea of how big Lake Mead it used to be. And now, of course, you can't see any water whatsoever. Crazy, crazy. And just down the road is Echo Bay, and that's where I've launched and done quite a bit of fishing on Lake Mead. But that closed this past year, this past spring of 2022, when the water's just receding ridiculously, and now it's, you know, anybody's guess if it'll ever come back. But yeah, it's hard to believe that was under 60 feet of water right over there, huh? So there's a map kiosk at the trailhead here. And as you can see right up top, we are here. And what I just mentioned as far as Echo Bay is right down here where I used to launch at. And that's St. Thomas, the town. That's crazy. Wow. You've got Lake Mead, and farther off to the west, Las Vegas. All right, I guess we'll lace up and head on down. Here's an image of the St. Thomas schoolhouse. We're going to actually see the ruins of this. I believe there's some pretty big foundations left. It's either this or the ice cream store. I can't remember which one, but yeah. Or actually, I think we see the steps of the schoolhouse. It's going to be kind of exciting.
Yeah.
You ready to go have a look?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. Well, the trail down looks like it's easily navigable. It's nothing difficult here. Nice little walk out into the desert, really. Yeah, so we've just come down the trail a little bit. You can look back up and see where we came down, but you know the water came up at least this high because there's shells right here. So, wow. This is how big Lake Mead was. Isn't that crazy?
Crazy. And it's sad.
It is kind of sad. So there's water all the way up to here. That's pretty amazing. And it's long gone.
I guess it is a puddle compared to what it used to be.
Oh, absolutely. I believe this is the old boat launch. And we can actually walk that down, but wow. Wild, huh?
Crazy.
Yeah, it is. Might run into some donkeys out here. Keep your eyes peeled. Oh yeah. The signage is certainly helpful. I didn't realize Nevada in 1864 this is what the state looked like, and then it just got bigger in 1866 and then in 1867, which encompassed St. Thomas, which started the whole debacle. This is pretty interesting. Nice day to be doing this. It was mid-December. It's like 45 degrees. It's a little chilly, but perfect time to be walking in the lower desert like this. It's just hard to believe that all this was 60 feet underwater at one point. Yeah, that's crazy. That looks like something from the railroad, huh?
Yeah.
So you can see a line of where the trees were, that they were cut. It goes straight down. And there's also another line of trees down here. The foundations begin way off in the distance. I think that's the schoolhouse. So I think this is Main Street. There's some signs right here, so it'll tell us. But yeah. So there we are, looking down. Yeah, that's the schoolhouse way down there. Wow. I bet this place was pretty lush when it was all thriving, huh?
Yeah.
Well, ready to go have a look at the town?
Yeah.
Or what's left of it? All right. Like I said, here are the stumps of the trees that were cut. And it just goes down. Someone's home.
Huh?
Someone's home. What do we got here, Jen?
It's a cistern.
Oh, a cistern, eh?
Yeah.
And what would they do?
They would lower the smallest member of the family each year or every few months into there to clean it. That's where they got water.
Are you making that up?
That's what it says on the sign.
Oh, okay. Once again, you can get an idea of the tree line here. All cut so a boat wouldn't run into them. Heading down to the schoolhouse now. That would have been a big shade tree, huh?
Yeah.
Wow. More cut behind it. Heading straight out. Wow. Wow. It's an engine. Are we thinking this is the schoolhouse?
I don't know for sure.
I guess we'll find out at the sign here. Nope. This was just like a general store, apparently. I think we're to the schoolhouse now, eh?
Yeah. That looks great.
All right, well, here's the schoolhouse. This is looks to be like the biggest structure that's still here. It's pretty impressive, actually. So pretty cool to see, and there's some initials carved into the cement right here. Always interesting. Now we just heard some coyotes, so gotta keep an eye on our hound here. Sounded pretty far off, didn't they? Yeah. Those donkeys don't like the coyotes either. They usually raise hell when one of those gets around them. Shall we continue?
Yes, do it.
So we're gonna walk back and cut across, and it's gonna kind of loop us. Jen, what's this stuff called here?
Tamarisk.
Tamarisk. It's not native, is it?
Nope.
I don't like it. You're bush hogging through stuff when it's dried out, dead in the wintertime. All this stuff comes out like that. It gets down your shirt, your pack. It sucks. But it's choked all through here, and there's quite a bit of ruins all through this, isn't there? The shrubs here.
More than what's on the map, because they said that there was like 500 people that lived here at one time.
Yeah, it's a pretty large community for the area, but you can see ruins in the bush there. You can see remnants of the old trees that are cut. So there's a lot of trees here. I mean, there's stumps everywhere. It's pretty impressive. And if you move that way and continue down and around, you'd eventually run into Lake Mead, or what's left of it. Lots of ruins. Yeah, okay, I can hear the donkeys raising hell out there. There's a coyote close. That's one thing, I see coyotes all the time when I was fishing up in Echo on Lake Mead. So those coyotes sit up on the hilltops, and I see my little dog here. They'll come down for a scrap. All right, so according to the signs, this is the ruins of the Gentry Hotel. Yeah, not much left of that. Yeah, it's pretty amazing. This was a thriving community. And I guess once the Hoover Dam was going up and Boulder City became the place, it kind of helped put this off the map. But I mean, obviously, eventually this place went underwater, so it wouldn't have mattered anyway, right? But there's all kinds of ruins. It's just incredible. I still can't believe this was 60 feet underwater right here. That's just amazing. And you can see, I mean, there's absolutely no sign of Lake Mead.
Even in the distance.
Yeah, in the distance. You can't, there's nothing. This is all underwater. Wow. The loop trail is navigable. It's easy to find, so you can loop yourself around with no problem. And there's also, we're about back to where we started right here, but there's also a stretch of cut tree stumps heading, that looks like what, north probably? Yeah. So there's probably some more ruins out in there, but yeah, I mean, the whole area is probably got pockets of stuff on it, you know? Wow, crazy. What do we got here?
It's just a house.
Just a house, huh?
Yeah.
So we just came out when we began right there. So we're pretty much back to where we started once we got down to the main street of the town here. And then we followed this back down to the store and the schoolhouse, and there's your loop. Cool, interesting, informative.
Yeah, for sure. I learned a lot today.
I did too, man.
Nice little walk through, what was it, a little over 2 miles?
I think it's 2.5 miles. So it's nothing strenuous involved. Easy walking. A lot of history out here. Yeah, this is crazy. Essentially, wherever there's water in the Nevada desert, there are communities.
Yeah.
You know, that's all there is to it. Dating back millennia, so. Very cool. This is a pretty interesting sign in front of this ruins here, but since we live relatively near to the area, summers out here just, they are brutal. in the middle of summer, 120 degrees easy. 115 at night. I mean, it's just brutal, but it says right here, I'm just quoting from the sign, that people slept with wet sheets over them.
And they'd wake up in the night and re-wet their sheets.
Yeah, because the sheet would dry out. It's so hot. Brutal.
It's terrible.
Hard living, man. Hard living. It's 50 degrees and you're in the shade. I don't think you would have done too well out here in the summertime, Hound. Well, there you have it. The ghost town of St. Thomas. Thoughts, Jen?
I'm just trying to imagine coming out here and putting all you have into building these little structures and then having to leave as you watch water rise and like engulf it. I just cannot imagine. And there's nothing you can do.
Nothing you can do.
And the government gave them about $900,000, I guess, the town at the time, for all the homes and land.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know how they split that up or whatever, but yeah.
Watch it all go away. Yup.
It is cool to visit, though.
I imagine that would have had a profound effect upon me.
Yeah.
All that work underwater. Oh well. What can you do? Well, we're pretty much going back out the way we came. That was definitely a very interesting and educational day today.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. I never knew this existed out here. So, good job finding this out.
Yeah.
It's funny because I drove by this all the time, heading to Echo Bay to fish.
Yeah.
Never knew. Wow. Well, something to think about for sure. Well, there you have it, folks. The ghost town of St. Thomas. As always, thank you very much for watching. We got lots more content on the way, so stay tuned. If you are new to the channel, please consider subscribing. It helps us out tremendously. We will see you next time. D-Rock out.
Jenna.
Phoenix out. Adios.